The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 41, Falling. I wonder how long Nix Fang is going to be eating this much. I imagine she's only eating this much because she's a baby. She's also going to be growing quickly to match my age. I'd assume that means she'll be needing a lot more nutrients than normal. Master said it could take a few months. I don't know if I can afford this and Torvin's fees. Torvin? Son of a bitch. I forgot to check Rabbit's report. Lorik thinks before stopping. He looks around before sighing. I'll wait until I find a cave or somewhere to set up camp, he thinks while sighing. Lorik continues walking along the dirt path. If he follows it to the end, he'll get to a dungeon, but he's not interested in a dungeon right now. After another hour, Nixfang gets hungry again. Lorik feeds her the rest of the deer from earlier. She climbs back up to his shoulders before lying down. Lorik checks his map again before glancing at Nixfang. She needs food, and I need a place to sleep. Just so happens there's a goblin nest nearby, set up in a secure cave. Lorik says aloud before turning to his left and walking into the trees. According to the map, Lorik will get there in 4 hours. So every time he sees an animal along the way, he hunts them down for Nixfang. On cue, after an hour, she says she's hungry. She devours all the animals he managed to hunt before going back to sleep. By the time he reaches the goblin nest, Nixfang is full enough. She's still hungry, but not to the point of starving or anything like that. Nixfang, can you enter my soul for a while? I'm going to hunt a bunch of goblins for you, Lorik says while lifting her off his shoulders. Sleep? She asks, and Lorik nods. Just for a while, then you'll be able to eat your fill. He replies, causing her to yelp in joy. She turns into a silvery gray mist and enters his soul. Lorik turns around and slowly walks the rest of the way. After a minute, he gets to the tree line. Ahead of him is another cliff. There's a massive cave opening in the cliff wall. It's easily 20 feet wide and 15 feet tall. There are 2 crudely made wooden towers on each side of the cave entrance. A crude wooden gate is built between them. Each tower has 2 goblins holding bows. They scan the tree line for anything coming close. Suddenly, one of them notices Lorik and starts shouting while drawing their bow. Lorik reaches his hand out, and a bow appears from his storage ring. He takes aim and fires, using his soul sword as an arrow. His sword pierces the goblin, who notices him, but it's too late. The other 3 are already firing their bows. He ducks behind a tree and waits while readying his soul sword again. He peeks out and sees them grabbing another arrow. He aims and shoots again, killing another. He does the same for the other 2 before ensuring there's no more. Once he's sure, he runs to the towers. He climbs up them and stores the bodies in his storage ring. He doesn't use his green one, as it doesn't have enough space with all his ingredients. The towers have crude stairs leading down on the other side of the gate. Lorik climbs down the stairs while looking for more goblins. He's using Hunter's Vision and cast Beast Paws on both arms again. The cave tunnel is wide, and torches line the walls, keeping it bright. Standing torches fill the middle of the tunnel. Lorik runs through the cave, slashing and cutting down every goblin he comes across. With Hunter's Vision active, no goblin sneaks up on him. As he comes to the last cavern, where the largest group of goblins are, Nixfang speaks up. Hungry, she says before she starts sucking out his soul power. Lorik falls against the crudely made wooden door leading to the cavern. It breaks under his weight and he falls into it. The sound of goblins shouting can be heard as he quickly gets up. Nixfang, come out, Lorik says while reaching out. 3 goblin corpses appear behind him, and Nixfang jumps out of his back. She starts eating happily, unaware of the predicament she got her master into. 5 goblins are rushing Lorik with 3 archers behind them. A goblin wearing a deer skull over its head and holding a wooden staff stands in the back. The staff lights up green before vines appear around Lorik's legs. Sorry, Nixfang, Lorik says before breathing in. A magic circle appears behind his head, and a phantom wolf head jumps out. It roars, causing the 5 goblins running at him to trip and fall. The 3 archers drop their bows, and the one with the staff falls to his knees. Lorik breaks out of the vines before cutting down the 5 closest goblins. He jumps up as the 3 archers start shooting. After dodging the arrows, he starts charging them. The goblin with the staff slams it into the ground. 2 goblins made of vines appear next to it. The vine goblins rush Lorik quickly. Lorik cuts them with his soul sword, but they regenerate and reattach. He grunts before dropping his sword. He picks them up with his hands before tossing them away. He pummels the arches before turning his sights on the mage. The mage goblin is panting and sweating, leaning on his staff. Lorik runs toward it and slams his fist into it. "That was too close," Lorik says before turning back to where he came from. Nixfang is still happily eating without a care in the world. Lorik sighs before storing the goblin corpses. He walks back to the gate before setting an alarm crystal. It'll cause the one he keeps on him to start ringing if it detects movement. Once he's back at the last cavern, he finds Nixfang sleeping. 2 of the 3 goblin corpses have been picked clean. Lorik dumps another 10 into a pile before picking up Nixfang. He sets his sleeping bag on the ground before lying down. He sets Nixfang on top of his chest and falls asleep. "Master hungry!" Nixfang shouts, her voice roaring though Lorik's mind. He jumps up and looks around before seeing Nixfang jump onto his lap. "Hungry," she repeats. Lorik looks over to where he left the goblin corpses to see only bones. He sighs before dropping another 10 into a pile. He lays back down and falls asleep. When he wakes back up, he checks the time. He's surprised to see it's past 9 in the morning. He gets up and sees Nixfang sleeping next to him. She's grown a few inches longer. Her tail is still just as long as her body. Lorik smiles upon seeing her before turning his attention away. He reaches out, and the report Rabbit gave him appears in his hands. He starts reading through the pages. It's a report of Rabbit's findings of a certain place. It's called the Arcathan Institute. Like the Academy of Concordia, it's located in the capital. Unlike the Academy, it doesn't train mages. Instead, people focus on their studies. It's no understatement to say the graduates are the future brains of the guilds and academies. Some of them even go on to work under the king. "Doesn't look like there's been any change," Lorik says while reading through the papers. He stores them back in his ring before the box he got from Torvin appears. He opens it up, and inside are 2 bottles carefully stored. They're held securely in a wooden tray with holes holding them in place. One of them is full of a thick red liquid, while the other is full of a smoother blue liquid. Lorik sighs upon seeing the contents of the box. He forgot the needles. Damn it. It's probably for the best, though. This isn't the safest place to do this. Lorik says aloud before standing up. He stretches and checks on the second pile of corpses. Half of them have been reduced to bones. Lorik walks over and stores the rest in his ring before walking over to Nixfang. He gently picks her up before walking out of the cave. He spends the entire day exploring the nearby area. Since he's planning to stay here for a week, he needs to familiarize himself with what's close. Primarily, he wants a water source that isn't a river hours away. He brought water with him, but with him and Nixfang, it'll only last a few days. Fortunately, he finds a lake nearby. As he explores, he has to stop every hour to feed Nixfang. As the sun sets, he returns to the cave. He hunted plenty of animals and goblins while he was out. So he's not worried about food for Nixfang for now. He spends the next 4 days doing the same. He wants to make sure he can find his way back if he has to run from something. After waking up on the 7th day, he decides to check out a nearby ravine. It's full of monsters, and his map says to be a mage before delving in. He's not planning on entering it, but he wants to look at it. "Leaving?" Nixfang says as he starts walking out of the cavern. Over the week, Nixfang has grown a lot. She's now 2 feet tall, and she's 4 feet long. Her tail has grown to 4 feet as well. "Yep, we're gonna look at something today," Lorik replies before they leave the cave. They spend a few hours walking. As always, they stop every hour for Nixfang to eat. They don't get to the ravine until noon. The ravine is a large crack spanning over a mile long. Inside the ravine are hordes of monsters along with a dungeon. The dungeon is C grade, meaning only mid-tier mages can handle it. There's a wooden staircase leading deeper across the ravine. It leads to the dungeon and to a few other places monsters gather. But plenty of monsters wander onto it. Hardly any climb up out of the ravine, though. At the bottom of the ravine, a light suddenly appears. Lorik looks down at it before going wide-eyed. He jumps back as a stone spear flies out of the ravine. "Master!" Nixfang says worriedly as Lorik falls on his ass. She runs up next to him and looks him over. "I'm fine, but we should get out of here," Lorik says while getting up. The ground beneath him suddenly quakes. Before he can take a step, flames rise around him. They form walls that circle him, only leaving space over the ravine. Lorik glances over the edge and sees another light. There's another spear embedded into the stone near the edge of the ravine next to him. It's on fire and the source of the firewalls. Lorik turns away as another spear lands next to the flaming one. This one causes the ground to shake again. But instead of fire, the stone and dirt around and under him bursts. It's almost like they were turned into explosives. He falls as the ground beneath him gives way. He starts sliding down into the ravine. Lorik tries grabbing something, but all he can grab are broken chunks of dirt and stone. "Master!" Nixfang shouts as the both of them fall over the edge and into the ravine.